What's going on, guys? This is Martyrsbrigade99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, we're back at it once again with another video in the series that I like to call Battle of the Uploaders. Now, this time we have good old iGBxRated, right? He's another YouTube uploader, and actually he has a good number of videos in a wide selection that covers a wide range of topics. Right, so if you guys want to go ahead and check out his channel, I'll go ahead and put the link in the description box, and you guys can go ahead and check out whatever he has to offer. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and go right on into it. So the last time I did a battle of the uploaders, he sent me a message and he's like, hey dude, let's go ahead and do a series. So, before I responded, I went on ahead and checked out his channel, and I remembered that actually I've watched a few of his videos. And actually I got a lot of good useful information. I know he did a series with some of the knights. I know he did one on Knight Solaire. He did one with the Silver Knight, the Black Knights, and a few others. And actually, I learned how to do the fast leveling by watching his channel. So I said, oh, okay, so this guy is not a new kid on the block. He's kind of been around for a while. So let's just go ahead and have a few matches. Now, when I first invaded, I was really in for a surprise, mainly because this is one of the most dangerous builds out there. He's a pyro / chaos blade build. And not only that, he's like super aggressive with the build. Now, one thing with regard to this chaos blade, in my personal opinion, it's a little OP. Right? Because number one, to the extent that you have 10 humanity, at least 10, one hit can really chop off a lot of vitality from you based upon the armor selection that you have. Number two, for some reason, it seems to me that even with 53 poise, in some cases, after getting hit twice, you can get stunned by that weapon. And during the time that you're getting stunned, each additional hit is not only inflicting damage, but it is also accumulating the bleed. So this is not one of those weapons that you need to mess around with, right? To the extent that you guys have an opponent that's using this weapon, for which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys may know by now. Now, another thing to keep in mind, as soon as I saw this guy with the giant torso, I knew that I couldn't play with him. For the most part, because he has two things. Actually, he has three things on his side with how I see it. Number one, he has the Chaos Blade with the benefits that I just articulated. Number two, because I couldn't really tell outright how much poise he had, I knew that I couldn't really mess around with this guy with a kind of full-out offensive. Mainly because those giant pieces really have a lot of poise, right? And things that you need to consider with high poise armor selection is that, especially when they're using a katana, in most cases, they can sustain hit from you while at the same time build up not only bleed accumulation, but also inflicting a lot of damage. So what I said to myself, I said, you know what? There is only one class of weapons out there that is able to back off any person with high poise. That is the spear class. Now, if any of you guys have had any experience with the spears, you guys would know that with good 2 successful hits, especially with 2-hand hits of a spear, in most cases you can stun an opponent. That's full giants, that's Havels, that's black iron. I've tried it on many of occasions, and a lot of times when you're faced against one of these guys with high poise, especially when they're wielding a katana, in my personal opinion, you can chance it out and trying to parry him, but case in point, he's pretty aggressive. So, do I really want to run the risk of trying to parry this guy, especially when I only have 53 poise? No, I wouldn't do it. I'm not trying to do a standoff with this guy, especially when I'm not really sure what other armor pieces he has. I noticed that he is wearing the giant chest piece, and I see that he has the elite bottoms, but I don't know what kind of gauntlets he has. Right, and I never really took the time to sit here and try to figure out what his armor selection was to determine what should be my offensive strategy. So I said, okay, so this guy has the giant piece. I don't want to take for granted his poise, because to the extent that he's just poising through my hits, he's going to basically knock me out with that chaos blade. Like I said before, for the two reasons. Number one, with the bleed accumulation, and number two, just simply because with 10 humanity, it can inflict a lot of damage. So I said, okay, this time to do a little Muhammad Ali type deal. Hit him with the stick and move tactics. Right? So basically what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be switching back and forth between the partisan. Right? Yes, I said the partisan. For a lot of you guys that believe that the partisan sucks, mainly because of the R2 attack. Guess what, dudes? Like I've said plenty of times, in the brigade, we like to experiment with weapons that are rarely used. So, even though I'm kind of hot-shotting it with the pike right now, you guys notice that? Stun them. This is the best tactic, in my personal opinion, against these guys with high poise, especially the ultra, hyper-aggressive guys, for which good old iGBxRated seems to be. Now, I don't know how he is with other builds, but at least with this build, he is extremely aggressive. Right? So, just trying to go toe-to-toe with this guy, in my personal opinion, would be a huge mistake. Another thing with regard to his build, not only does he have seemingly the high poise, and the reason why I say seemingly, once again, because aside from what appears to be the Elite Knight leggings, I don't know what kind of gauntlets he's wearing. Right? So, aside from the seemingly high poise and the Chaos Blade, this guy is also rocking pyromancies, for which, I don't think anyone needs to say anything against say anything in defense of the pyromancies. Those pyromancies are extremely strong, especially if you're using armor that is especially weak to fire. Right? So, this guy is basically taking it to me. Now, what do I have with regard as... what do I have on my side with regard to good defensive strategies? Well, number one, not only am I rocking the spears, but you guys are going to notice later on that my poison arrows and the poison buffs will help me out on a number of occasions. And as a matter of fact, there's, I think, 1 or 2, maybe 3 occasions where the poison is actually bringing him to his death. And I'm not saying that as if to suggest it's only the poison. Obviously, the additional tactics that I've been able to employ has also been a benefit, but for the most part, you guys are going to notice sometimes where I'm not even swinging, and when he dies, it is mainly due to the poison effect. Right? So for a lot of you guys who like to sleep on the poison, don't sleep on it, Chief. Right? Because it all helps. Now, you guys see how aggressive this guy is? See? I'm just kind of out of there. Now, initially, the first build that I tried to use against him was my Leo Ring medium roll build, right? For which I really get a lot of success. I know a lot of you guys may say to yourself, medium roll? What the hey? What do you mean medium roll? Yes, dude, medium roll. But the thing is, since he was so aggressive, I really didn't see myself trying to medium roll against this guy. Now, if I was with someone who is, semi-aggressive, I can deal with that. But an ultra-aggressive dude, nah, it's not happening. So I said to myself, okay, let me just go ahead and pull out my Hollow Swag Dexterity build, which has the usage of the spears. And with those spears, I'll be able to stun him a little bit and kind of maintain the distance. Right. Now, one good thing about good old iGBxRated, he's definitely come prepared, right? Because he has the purple moss on his side whenever he gets inflicted with poison. But, you know, in some cases, once he's inflicted with poison, I try to keep the distance close. Now, you guys notice that? I mean, he's going from R1 thrust to great combustion. He's going to fireballs. I mean, this guy is a bit aggressive. I really do not have time to play with him. Thus, the spears. Right? But, I mean, all in all, I think it was a great series. Now, I think in some cases I got the best of him, for which many of these cases he got the best of me. But all in all, I think it was a great demonstration against good old X-Rated. I think it's a good build of rapport and cohesion amongst some of the uploaders. Right? I know some of these uploaders, they kind of like on an ego trip about who's the biggest hotshot. In the brigade, we don't believe in egos, right? Because as we have said on plenty of occasions, we like to have fun in the brigade, and I just simply enjoy PvP. And I think whenever you make a call to challenge other uploaders, you know, not only is it, you know, exciting for some of the subscribers, but it also builds cohesive I can't say relationships. I'll just say cohesive bonds within the PvP world, especially amongst those who, you know, kind of have a lot of subscribers. I think it's a good thing. Right, so any of you other hotshot PvP uploaders that kind of been around for a while, you know, now, before I say this, you know, I'm not going to be slighting on some of you guys that, you know, kind of just came out yesterday, but, you know, I'll have some matches with you guys, but basically the uploader challenge is mainly for a lot of these guys who've been around for a while. You know, I know good old hotshot New Gaming, you know, he's out there. What's that dude who's got that voice? What's that guy's name? You know, he's all into the revenge kills. I'll take that guy on. A lot of these others, right? And like I said before, there's no egos going on. It's all for fun, and it helps to build good, cohesive PvP relationships. Alright, so enough of the good old morale booster. So we're back at it with the partisan. You guys have noticed I've kind of tightened them up with the high-speed, awkward-looking R2 attacks. For which I must say, on many of occasions, I have tried to rock as many of the rarest weapons as I could. And it's actually been fun. One thing that I have realized, in my personal opinion, is that once you get to the point of experimenting with a lot of the weapons, I mean, your experience with regard to offensive and defensive strategies, I mean, it just becomes so vast, you know. And with that wide range of experience, I really feel like I'm basically prepared for any situation. Any situation meaning, you know, fast rolling, darkwood grain ring, castings, mid rolling. Any situation out there, because I experiment with a wide variety of builds, I am ready for it, right? I think the only build I have absolutely not experimented with is the Fat Boy build. And actually, in the brigade, we're thinking about experimenting with some Fat Boys, right? No offense to any of you hotshot, overweight fat boys out there. Right? I know some of you guys who like to comment, who like to say how mean I am, and you know how you guys detest some of the attitudes within video gaming. But so what? I'm a guy, right? This is what guys do. We compete, we tease, we have fun. So get over it, right? Because we're not going to be changing in the brigade. All right, so he just got me with a hot shot backstab. He's trying to pop me off with the toxins, and you guys notice that? I was able to back him off a little bit because he was really trying to build up that poison accumulate. I mean that bleed accumulation. But we're not having it. Right, so I have the crystal partisan. Just hit him with that awkward looking R2 attack. Right, so it's looking kind of good. Alright, so I just decided that I'll switch shields a little bit. Go ahead, fire up the rotten resins, which really helps me out a lot, especially when you pair off the rotten resins along with the poison arrows. Alright, so as you guys can see, It really does not matter for, actually, for a lot of you guys that kind of like some of those hard-hitting, high-damaging weapons. I mean, it really does not matter, in my personal opinion, if you're wielding a weapon that only inflicts, I don't know, 250 to 300 damage. I mean, who cares? Because not all weapons were meant for the, outright, full-out offensive. No, some of these were designed for your attack strategies to be more like a hit-and-run type of deal. And this is why I like to experiment with a wide range of weapons, because you tend to learn the weapons' strengths and weaknesses, and it causes you to change out your strategies. In other words, if you're the type of guy that uses the katana all the time, perhaps you're a lot more aggressive. But if you kind of experiment with some of the blunt weapons, or some of the thrust weapons, like the Lucerne, the Warpick, the Warhammer, some of these others, you will realize that you cannot be as aggressive with those weapons as you can with some of the other weapons. So it causes you to diversify your approach to PvP, which is good. Like I said before, I don't think anyone should kind of put all their eggs in one basket by having one primary attack strategy. Now, I'm not saying it's bad if anyone does that, but what I'm saying is I think you will have a far better gaming experience when you see that you can be successful in ninja flipping, fast rolling, mid rolling, dexterity weapons, strength weapons, caster builds. Because at any given moment, you can basically say, okay, I have this build. All right, time to switch it up. I have another build. Time to switch that up. Let me go ahead and use a caster build. And it's all to the good. All right, so he went on ahead and bled out that high-speed invader. Now, if you guys just paid attention, he kind of got rid of that invader after like 5 or 6 swipes. And that's exactly what I meant about the aggressiveness, not only of his playstyle, but of the danger of that Chaos Blade, the potential danger. Right, because if you notice, that guy is not giving me air to breathe, and this is why I felt as if this spear was the best weapon to deal with this particular opponent. Right, because he's just kind of R1 thrusting everywhere. You guys notice that? Yeah. All right, so we're back at it with the partisan. Now, for any of you guys that are kind of interested in using the partisan, you can find the partisan over in the Moonlight Butterfly Forest. And actually, once immediately after you enter the Moonlight side of the forest, you would hang a left, right? And as you're hugging that left wall, you guys will notice a tree with some kind of snake-looking thing attached to it. Now, right up under that tree, you will notice a white loot light. Once you pick up that loot, you'll find the partisan. Now, like I said before, some guys, they kind of dislike the partisan because of the R2. But see, me, regardless of how it may seem, I like to incorporate not only the R1 thrustings, but also the R2 side swipes, because I think they're effective, and it also kind of switch up your attack strategies. Guys, notice that he's cooking me with those pyros. But it's all to the good. Alright, let's see, can we get our get backs? Back to some pike action. And actually, based upon my experiences with the pike, and I don't really mean my own experience as far as playing with it, but my experience with playing against opponents who use it, a lot of guys seem to take advantage of its reach. And when I say take advantage of its reach, I mainly mean using the R1, either the two-handed or one-handed. But that pike is also useful when you incorporate the R2 attack, which is a thrusting attack. Hint, hint, for some of you guys that like to rock the Leo ring, that R2 is awesome, right? And actually, I'm going to kind of demonstrate that in an upcoming video that I like to title Counterattacking with the Leo ring. Alright, and that'll be coming up sometime soon. Alright guys, so this is the last match of the series. I'd like to thank good old iGBxRated for his awesome display of his Pyromancy / Chaos Blade build. I think it was an awesome build, and he also has an awesome channel. So once again, for you guys, some of you, high speed, hot shot YouTube uploaders want to take me on, go ahead and send me an invite and we can get it on. Alright guys, stay tuned for next time. Martyrs Brigade is out.